What's up, everyone? 412 Sports Cards here today, back with another video. And today, I'm going to be answering the question, is it time to be buying football cards? Now, I know I talk a lot on this channel about basketball cards, maybe a side of baseball, but I really wanted to touch on football cards in this video, something that's been more and more prevalent than ever in the card landscape as a whole, and wanted to get in here, answer that question for you guys. Is it time to be putting your hard-earned money into football cards? Short answer that I will be expounding upon is yes. I think there's a great chance to make some money on football cards for next year. But let's get into the more detailed answer, which I think is what you guys, care about and what you're here for. Let's consider football card investing in the total card landscape. There's no doubt we've seen a massive softening in the basketball card market recently, and it's come at a time when the football card market has been red hot. It's been Hall of Fame type guys like Peyton, Rodgers, Brady. Now, Brady's got a little bit more reason than the other guys just because, adding a seventh ring is insane and takes him, even like above Michael Jordan in terms of modern athletes for most rings. But, also young guys like Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, even Daniel Jones. Those guys have seen pretty substantial rises in their prices. Like Daniel Jones, we're talking about like 50%. The Baker probably around 50% or more too. Basically, all the QBs in football are done pretty well. So, what I think we're seeing can be attributed to a couple things. There's fatigue. One, this is the first point. Fatigue with the basketball season being boring, kind of money moving elsewhere. Ratings are not that good for the basketball season this year. And the All-Star game happened a while back. We've kind of been in that awkward period from All-Star game to playoffs for a really long time. And I think now with the play-in starting to create some drama, especially with the Lakers being so close, there's a little bit more excitement, but basketball's been going practically nonstop since like the bubble. So, we've had by the time playoffs are over, we've had almost a year straight of basketball with very little off-season. I think there's just fatigue, and that money is moving out of basketball, I think, for that reason, which is the biggest sector of money. A second point could be there's just money chasing opportunities. People like to chase the stuff where they see opportunity. So many eyes on basketball, so many eyes on even stuff like, baseball going into the season. People are saying, I can get ahead of the curve. You talk about those preseason investments for football. Well, those preseason investments for football are happening right now. They were happening before the draft, which is insane. Another I think is just there's more money pouring into the football card as collectors, investors just give the sports cards more attention. I think this is probably the strongest point. And I don't believe a lot of this stuff. People talk about soccer, global sport, so it has like the biggest addressable market. I think the vast majority of card collectors, at least today, maybe in the future it'll change, but right now live in the United States. When you compare how beloved football is to basketball in the United States, there's no doubt football is the biggest sport in this country. And when you consider how cheap the cards are compared to basketball, it hasn't historically made a ton of sense. I don't know. It's hard to say exactly why basketball, probably there's so little guys on the roster. Basketball caught the attention of the hobby. It seems like people are putting some more of their attention on the football cards, the cards of the sport that, Americans in general enjoy watching the most. I think that's a valuable trend. Now, all that said, all those positive things I've said about the football card market, you really got to be watching the valuations right now. I'm excited about the market growth in football cards, but valuations might not be the best on everyone. You got guys like, your Daniel Jones, Kyler, and I'm just showing off here some football cards that I got. Daniel Jones, Kyler, Baker, have all taken some big jumps, and considering how much time there is until the season that the NFL draft just ended, it could be tough to buy at current prices. You think back on last year, right? You always got to be thinking about past trends, how have these markets moved? Historically, these markets have moved pretty similar ways each season, each part of the calendar year in each sport. Last year, we all remember it. Had guys, position players, look at Claypool. He was a rookie, obviously, but wide receivers here boomed before the football season last year. And then, you had week 1, week 2, even if they were going off, playing incredibly well, their prices came down hard. And it was just even more pronounced for guys who did not live up to the expectations. Kyler Murray got hammered at the beginning of last year, if you guys remember. So, it's just something to be wary of, the valuations. If you can find guys that haven't run like crazy, I think there's a lot of potential. I know it didn't work last year, but I think there's some potential in position players. Now, we're talking about valuations. I would be very wary of guys like Brady. I think might be a little immune from this, just because I think Brady is in a status of his own, and a lot of his rookies are pretty low pop. I don't think his stuff could get as hard of a correction, just because the pop is pretty low. But if you're looking at Aaron Rodgers, stuff like that, Aaron Rodgers stuff, I'd be worried you start seeing his stuff move the way that there's the basketball GOAT type or Hall of Fame type guys have been moving. An incredibly harsh correction. It's possible that you just have more money going into football, but I'm a little worried that, you might see that harsh correction that we've seen in basketball with guys like Aaron Rodgers. I'd stay away from them for the time being, just in case it's kind of a delayed correction, just because how hot football's been. So, who to buy? Because I am saying I believe in the football card market. I think the type of guys you buy are just flippers. The best up-and-comers, guys you like. Say you like Chase Claypool. I don't think I'd be buying his Collegiate Flawless. I just bought that for my PC because, I like Notre Dame. But I would not be buying that type of stuff. I'd be buying, how high print runs are. I don't even know I'd be buying Prism Base or Silvers. I'd probably be buying numbered parallels. That Select has been printed to oblivion this year. I don't even think it's safe to say a courtside. I would be looking for your numbered parallels, if you can get them, of, up-and-coming guys. Carson Wentz, maybe. Guys who've had a change of scenery. Some 2019 rookies, really anyone you think has been flying under the radar. Maybe Gardner Minshew, a trade candidate, right? With Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville. He gets traded. Prices could go up if he can start somewhere else. Plays like that, I think, are huge. And, it's worth noting, right? The elephant in the room. Football, the injury risk is higher than any other sport. I touched on it on a video, probably, we could be back in September or October at this point, but about how the risk-adjusted returns, in football, it's a little bit of a different formula than in like basketball or baseball, where you should be earning a higher return to justify you for the higher level of risk you're taking in your card investing in these riskier assets. I think there's flipper type guys. You sell fast. These are not, I don't think that there might be, as the market matures, some more opportunities, but right now I think that there's a ton of opportunity in quick flips in football. A lot of opportunity, like I said. Let me know what you guys think. I don't dabble a lot into football, but I'm definitely have cleared up some cash, have some interest in making a couple speculative plays. Don't usually do that, but I don't know. I think on guys that haven't run, I think there's a lot of chance in football. So let me know if y'all disagree, agree with me. Drop a like, drop a sub if you've been still with me here to the end. I appreciate that, especially watching the whole video. It really helps me out. So if you did that, thank you. Drop a like, drop a sub, and I'll catch y'all next time.